And welcome to Friends Like Us. I'm Marina Franklin here for you. So it's just me, myself, and I. Oh, yeah. That's how I'm going to do it today. And then we're going to have Juskow join us. Meet myself and I. Own best friend. Welcome, everyone. Marina Franklin here. Okay, so now that I, of course, have this by myself in the beginning, maybe we'll add another person. I don't know. We'll see. But I joined late, of course, because that's how you do when you don't have someone like watching you or someone who's there with you. Like Evelyn was so great. So I always joined early and on time. But it really doesn't start until 3 anyway. I just always joined early to grab the Facebooks and all that. But I just want to thank you all for being here for the live. Thank you. I see some of you here already. Tell me where you are watching us from. Why do I do this? Why? I do this every week. Well, not every week. We have taken some days off. But you get notices if you're subscribed to my YouTube page, then you will know. You'll know the day before when we are going live. And sometimes I even put an announcement. We'll definitely be taking a break during the Thanksgiving week because it's Thanksgiving. I hope you guys all had a great Halloween. We are really all the way into the holidays already, and I feel like I'm just getting over the last holiday. I'm not going to lie. And daylight savings is Sunday, but I don't know who it saves. It's not going to save lives, I'll tell you that, because we need sunlight at night, actually. This darkness that's going to be fading into way too early in New York City is just not what we need in New York right now, because I can go on and on as to why, but you know why. Crossing the streets in New York is like it's the riskiest thing you can do. I actually tell people don't come visit me now because I'm so afraid that they'll get hit by a city bike or a vehicle turning left or right because it is so dangerous right now. But anyway, I didn't mean to start off on that note. That's just where I'm at this morning. Sorry. But why do I do this? I do this every Saturday, unless it's a holiday, to promote my podcast, Friends Like Us, which is a podcast in audio form that is available in the link that is in the bio. You see that thing that's scrolling? See that link tree? I'm going to put it in the chat as well, but that link tree is where you can listen to the podcast. It has all the links. You could also go to my website, marinayfranklin.com, and it has all the links available there. And we have been on fire. We have had Sarah Cooper on the podcast. Yes, Sarah Cooper, who was just on, I believe, a late night show with, I forget which host, but, Sarah Cooper is the one who went viral, the comedian that went viral impersonating the man who shall not be mentioned, our president, the one before this, the one that hopefully will not be president again. But she went viral lip syncing to him on TikTok. And she was on the podcast Friends Like Us this past month, October. And then following that, we had Alvin Irby, and we had who does barbershop books. And he has a show this week to help support and raise money for barbershop books, which is a great way of identifying readers or getting little boys to read in barbershops. It's great. And on that same show, I had Aparna Nancherla, Aparna who wrote a book about the unreliable narrator, the imposter syndrome. She's talking about imposter syndrome, which has been kind of the theme for the month of October. It was a lot of people talking about imposter syndrome. And even Sarah Cooper, we were talking about, like, when you get to that level where you check all the boxes where everything is happening for you and you're just not sure. And imposter syndrome is not just a term that has been flowing around. It's actually a term that is associated with mental health. which is why I say don't do this daylight savings. They should stop it. It's the one thing that Bush Jr. actually had right. It's like it makes people depressed. The less sunlight. I mean, I don't wake up early, so I don't know how it affects people who wake up early, but I do know like at night in New York City, we need I don't know if we should be changing this cuz it's going to get darker a lot sooner. Ugh, I hate it. Don't forget to turn your clocks back if you still have one of those. It's so weird. Everything I have is digital, so everything just turns back on its own. I don't have anything that I have to turn back. I don't have like a watch. I'm not a watch person. I don't have an old clock. So there. And so anyway, yeah. So that's what's going on. And we also have an episode out with right now, a really excellent episode with two of the marketing geniuses of Verb, co-founders, two sisters, two Black women. They are co-founders, and there's so many valuable tools that they mention in that episode. I actually learned a lot from that episode, and I took it on this week. It's called, I call it like passive learning when you're not like taking a class, you're just kind of listening to people, you're getting excited about what they're saying. And like, I also listen to Earn Your Leisure guys. They have a podcast, they have a thing on YouTube. I just sit back and sometimes when I'm cleaning the house, I listen to it. I learn so much. Same thing with friends like us. It's really a great episode because these are women who kind of lead with friendship in their way of working and creating an atmosphere that's functional. That's good. By the way, am I freezing at all? I'm curious. I'm always curious if it's me. I feel like it is me. I don't know. Not sure. Hey, Heck Tech. Hey, Sujay. Hey, everybody. Boogie Down is in the house. Sujay, thank you for the compliment about all great episodes. Thank you so much. We also have another guest that's coming up, Prachi Gupta, who wrote a book about South Asian culture and how for mental illness. And it's a really great book that she wrote. And I am blanking on the narrative. They call us exceptional. That's what it's called. They call us exceptional. And I have her on with Nimish Patel. So you when you hear this one, you're gonna be like, whoa. I mean, and she's amazing. She won a Writers Guild Award for her book that she wrote about her brother, or an essay. It was more of an essay. And this book is more of a memoir. And she's just a good friend of mine. We hung out. She watched me scarf down a bunch of donuts. So we've been friends ever since because it was my cheat day. And on my cheat day, I eat. I try to get donuts if I can. All right, here we go. I'm gonna bring on David Juskow. Mr. Noise. What up, Mr. Noise? Thank you, Alana. Thank you so much for watching. No freezing, of course. Let's see what happens when Dave Juskow shows up because there's no freezing. I want you to notice this, Jess. I see your mom. Hello. Hello. I love when your mom is in the back. It's so cute. Hi. All right, here we go. I'm bringing him up. The man, David Juskow, everybody. Woo!
Right. Here, put your head in the camera there. Yeah, there you go.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Dave. And hello,
She doesn't know
David's
it's me.
mom. Hello.
No, she does. She
Oh.
does. Yeah, she's saying hi.
You.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, we're spending the day together again.
That's good. Is that okay? Or is it?
No, it is. Yeah.
Okay. Is he behaving?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think so. We just had lunch together.
What'd you have? What'd you eat? Where'd you go? Where
All
are
they had
you?
was hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
Yeah, it was really weird. We went down in her cafeteria.
Oh, okay. And that's all they had was hot dogs? Was it a hot dog Saturday?
Yeah, it wasn't very good. I didn't get it with the bun.
Oh, you just had it with what? Oh, you trying to do
I
low
just ate it
carb?
with a knife and fork. I don't
Oh.
know. It was too big, especially for people that live here. I had 2 of them.
You had 2 hot dogs?
Well, they were. I had 1.5.
What is in hot dogs?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't think these were kosher ones, so I don't
No.
know.
No.
At the farmers market, they sell like sausages and hot dogs. There's a guy whose stand's got like great like sell like I have not gone to his stand, but I saw him grilling like meat. Tamara, she was there today. I think she will be joining us. She went there and she said he's really good. So
Yeah, I'm not a big hot dog or sausage person, but that was all they had today, right, Rhoda?
Well, because they were about to close, right?
I went down too late. My own
oh
fault. I blame myself.
oh okay. So that's what it is.
Yeah, it wasn't my fault. You can't blame it on Mom.
They're asking why I'm letting you stand.
Well,
That's
no.
She's only coming here for a little bit.
Yeah. I'm going back out to do my work.
All right.
Okay, bye, Rhoda. I mean, bye,
If you
Mom.
wanna close the door, you can.
I will.
Bye,
don't
Miss
disturb you.
Rhoda.
Okay.
But if it's not disturbing you, then you can leave it open.
You know, it's rude to say someone's name like that. I just realized I said Rhoda, and I should say Miss.
Oh no, that's all right. We all call her Rhoda. It's too. Listen, that name is hilarious. You know, you got to use it because you're not going to meet any others.
But what should I say? What's the last name?
Juskow.
Miss Juskow?
Mrs. Juskow.
Oh, okay.
She still goes by Mrs. Juskow.
I don't know why. I think Juskow is your full name now.
Well, of course it is. Everybody calls me that.
Look, there's no freezing.
Not just now. I mean, everyone's called me that since elementary school.
They've called you Juskow? Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
when
why
you get I don't know, when you're a boy, I think, and you have a 2-syllable name, I think you just become that. I mean, it's not Franklin. Nobody's going to call Franklin because also the black kid in Peanuts is named Franklin. So that
Lenny
wouldn't
Marcus
work.
calls me Franklin all the time.
But that's the black kid in Peanuts, the only black kid in Peanuts.
That's
So
probably why he's doing it. He goes, "Hello, Franklin."
no, that's not why he's doing it, because that is funny that Lenny Marcus would be the only one to do it. But
he does. He calls me Franklin all the time. Franklin.
I love Franklin. Franklin's a big part in the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving special.
Oh, have you watched it?
No, I will be watching it. I watched them all. I watched the Halloween one.
It's weird that you have to go to Apple TV to
I
watch
hate it. Everybody hates it. Everybody's pissed off. It's rude of Apple to have done that and not just have it on ABC anymore. But
because I think it brings us together.
I agree 100% when it airs on TV, but I think that's old people talking. And no offense to you, I'm just saying. My guess is that's
you're right.
The mentality that, because that's the thing that doesn't exist anymore. That perhaps Game of Thrones was the last thing where everybody was watching the same day, the same time. And it's unfortunately just not like that anymore. It's a major bummer.
It brings, well, I guess sports brings people together now.
Sports definitely still does. It's the only thing left. But, you're never going to have another Sopranos where everybody's, on Monday morning, you're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Everybody had to see, even if you DVR'd it, you had to see it because everybody's going to talk about it the next day. I mean, there will be a show like that sooner or later down the line again, obviously. But
I've got to say,
if it's on a streaming platform, you binge it all at once. And I don't binge. I watch one at a time.
Heck Tech, you're asking about my ancestry. I think I've let everyone know I'm 12%. I'm on 23andMe, which actually got breached this month, specifically with people who had Ashkenazi ancestry, which is me.
Sense.
I don't know why. Well, yeah. Well, what are they? So I have 12%. I was 11.8% Ashkenazi. Then it went up to 12 for some reason.
Yes, that's because I had put my penis around you for a what? What? Hello? Is this working?
And then I have some European. But of course, obviously, I'm mostly like African. I
don't know, Ari.
Congo.
Sorry, I just
That's okay. I have
the chocolate.
Congo. I have a lot of Nigerian. I think it's about 50% Nigerian. Um, and then there's like European. I have like Irish, and there's a little bit of Asian in there. Like about like a half of a percent or something like
Well,
that.
my joke is I didn't go to 23andMe, but the joke is that I went to 23andMe and they just wrote back, "You're like, we've never seen percentages like this. It's 1,000% Jewish."
Is that what they came back?
No, that's the gag.
They're like, "Oh, what are you doing here?"
With Succession, Ari, I don't think it was the same thing. I think it's close, but it's
They still
just
stream it.
it wasn't the same. And so I've been watching, Marina, the book of the summer, which I was planning on reading. I just never got to it. So it already came out. Lessons in Chemistry with Brie Larson. And it's pretty fun. It's pretty good. And that's on Apple and it comes out weekly.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, back to, you're right. On Apple, it's funny because I think Succession, I think actually Ari is right. Because what they did with Succession, I mean, I don't know anyone who wasn't talking about Succession week to week and hanging on everyone was
I guess
talking about it.
it's just not the same as
Did you watch it?
Game of Thrones. No.
That's
Maybe
why.
that's why. Maybe.
Yeah, because everyone who watches Succession.
Well, you know what the other thing is too? I'm sorry, just because of COVID, we don't know. Nobody goes to the office 5 days a week anymore. So it used to be like the last thing I can remember, The Sopranos, and pretty much Game of Thrones was a little before COVID. So, but The Sopranos, like, people would have meetings on Monday mornings to talk about it, like before work started. They'd get into a conference room and discuss what happened. And that's never going to be the case anymore because nobody works 5 days a week anymore. Oh, yeah, Stace, I know that it's a great book. And you like the series too. So far, me too. I'm caught up.
Thank you, Mr. Noyce, for enjoying me on Godfrey's podcast. Yes, I did a Bill
Godfrey
Burr
has a podcast?
Yes, it's called In God We Trust, and I went viral on it. There's so many people who like this video. I'll show it in a second.
Sujay, Roots, actually, it was the first thing that started it, the miniseries with that kind of, pull to it was just before Roots. Rich Man, Poor Man with Nick Nolte.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then Roots, blew it away. And that was that was a nightly thing, I believe.
Remember that scary movie, V?
What? That's the one with Mark.
Where they like ate a rat and then his mouth like it was like everyone was going to school and talking about it the next day.
Well, I remember all those movies of the week that
it was like a scary series.
The next way. Well, that's why I always felt about Trilogy of Terror.
See, I love V. Yeah, love V was one of the craziest ones because I never forget that moment when she opened her mouth to eat like a rat. I was like, "What the hell?"
I don't remember it.
Oh yeah, do
you remember Trilogy of Terror with Karen Black?
Yes. Are you kidding? I love that. That little thing that was like
little dolls. Yeah.
She was great.
Doll. Yeah.
It was a series. Thank you. You know what's on Apple TV?
V. It's Mark Singer. Is that his name? Is that the guy in it? Heck Tech? Mark Singer? Was he?
I don't know, but I want to say this before I continue. On Apple TV, along with the lessons in chemistry, and I'm going to be honest, the only reason that I didn't know it was a book, but the only reason I haven't watched it was because I'm still on the other. I love that story about the Black women who were like scientists behind all that stuff, and so I just kind of like
Hidden Figures.
Hidden Figures, yes. And I feel like, is this like Hidden Figures?
Well, that's obviously fiction, but
no, it's not.
No, it is. But
is it like Hidden Figures?
No, I believe it's complete fiction. Lessons in Chemistry.
Thank you, Aunt Pruitt, who was so lovely on the episode where we talked about artificial intelligence. This is a great show that took me 2 years to actually latch onto it. And it is like Game of Thrones. I had my trainer tell me, you gotta like just stick in and watch it. You ready for it? Foundation. This show is unbelievably amazing. Okay. And every time I watched it, I was like, I can't sit through this. Because they, any show that takes a long time for setup is always going to be good. Because they used to say that about the show we were just talking about on HBO. What was that?
Succession, Game of
Succession.
Thrones.
Succession was one of those movies that when I first started watching it, I was like, I can't. And then when I got it, I forced myself because I saw everybody was watching it. It's like I just streamed it like crazy.
Wait, yeah, I was reading about what is Foundation? What is that?
It's like about I'm gonna say it wrong, probably Aunt Pruitt. You could probably
What's the
yeah,
one
you
with,
got to get your patience up for it. It kicks in though, and when it does, it's like
what's the
whoa.
one with Michael Keaton with the McDonald's? Wasn't that called something? Founders or something?
I don't know. But it's funny because I had these guys who were saying they don't watch anything. Thank
Oh,
you, Sujay. Is based on
Isaac Asimov.
yes. It's about the future. It's about like the planets. About planets going to war with other planets.
That's what Foundation's about?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that sounds fun.
wild. It's
You
like
know, it's funny. I thought
artificial intelligence is in there too, like actual and like cloning. It's
I
very
thought that
sci-fi.
guy. I thought nobody was talking about Isaac Asimov anymore. No one cared.
I don't even know who that is. Who is he?
Well, remember we used to learn about him and Ray Bradbury and all these science fiction writers in school, and then they tried to make movies of their books and it didn't work. And then you take they just kind of moved on with people like Back to the Future and the Terminator and stuff like that. That wasn't based on was all new. Those writers seem to have been forgotten. The Martian Chronicles. Remember that TV series that was on with my favorite actor Nicholas Hammond, played Big Man on Campus in the Brady Bunch.
No.
No. He didn't play Big Man on Campus. He did something else. No, he was the guy that said when Marsha had the nose, it was the nose. And he goes, Marsha, about Saturday night, it turns out my aunt came to town and, well, something suddenly came up. He was also in Sound of Music. And he was the original Spider-Man on TV, Nicholas Hammond. You're letting me go, and I appreciate that. Thank you. Let me get that out of my system.
No, I was trying to like
face.
no, I was clicking on the wrong I kept clicking on people and I was like, wait, what?
Oh, so it was good that I was just going on my rant.
Yeah, it was good. I did let it go. It was
Yeah,
good.
Ray Bradbury did the Fahrenheit 400 or whatever it's called. Yeah, all those writers from the 50s and 60s. I think there's a third one. But for some reason, it was Rod Serling that made it the biggest because he had the Twilight Zone. That's who you remember.
It's interesting because for some reason on Facebook, like Rod Serling's daughter was inviting me to join her page. Rod Serling.
Really? That's cool. There because I went to Ithaca. He used to be a teacher at Ithaca, so they have all access to all of his stuff, and his family. I think they probably still live up there, from what I've heard. That's pretty cool if you're friendly with his daughter. I think that's cool.
I know it was just like recommending, and I was like, oh,
you got a lot of access to his stuff if you became friends with her. It's kind of cool. I just bought a book. That this is the weirdest connection. I just bought the book. My sister bought it for me for my birthday, and it is the original. Rod Serling wrote the original Planet of the Apes movie, and then somebody else wrote it because his was too expensive.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was too racist.
Oh no. And then
that's so joking.
So Dana Gould, the comedian, wrote a graphic novel of the Rod Serling version of Planet of the Apes. I haven't read it yet. He wrote a book. It's the weirdest thing that Dana Gould got involved.
Yeah.
But really excited to read the original version because I love Planet of the Apes and everything about that story is fantastic. Let alone, of course, the greatest ending in motion picture history. It's so fucking. You talk about science fiction. That's the greatest.
I just want to say bye to Aunt Pruitt. Thank you. And make sure you listen to this week's episode because it is.
Yeah, Harlan Ellison. Oh, Mike, that boy and his dog.
Wait, hold on. I want to bring it back to the point of why I do this every Saturday, the podcast. If you haven't checked it out, the podcast Friends Like Us, which is available on all platforms. And this week is really with the co-founders of Verb, two Black women who own their own company. They are friends and they lead with that. And that's what they say. They make cool shit with friends. And they have done, get this, you'll love this, Juskow, to bring your interest back. Look, you're like a bad child.
No, I'm paying attention. I have to write. I got to take care of some stuff.
Oh, they did the Airbnb house for, hold for it, Barbie.
Oh, cool.
See, I know you so well. Look,
But I'm a homosexual man.
It's so easy to get your, but they, they do promotions like for marketing, right? So they did like they have a select group of people who can go to these homes and live in a Barbie house. And they do the whole design and everything. They also did Home Alone.
Cool.
Yeah. And I was like, you want to do my studio apartment? That'll be
Yeah, exactly.
That'll be so depressing. I'll be like, you want to put some barking dogs next door and like a neighbor who sings like every Broadway musical? You'd probably love that, Jessica.
You're damn right I would.
I can hear him in the bathroom right now singing.
Who, me?
No, my neighbor.
Oh.
I was like, but that would be like as a marketing for Marina studio apartment. How about that, everyone?
God, I've been singing this song from Once Upon a Mattress while I was folding my laundry yesterday. And I'm like, what is the matter with me?
I'm taking Alana, who is watching us right now, to see Pearly Victorious this Sunday. We got free tickets. They invited us.
No one knows what that is.
Yes,
Anywho,
they do.
I'm going to go see.
You don't know who Ruby D is?
No, I'm going to go see a real musical called Guttenberg.
It's not a musical. It's a play.
Oh, not interested. I haven't.
So Pearly Victorious. You guys know who Sujay. You know who Ozzy and Ruby D is, right? Right. So now you can't like just not be interested, Juskow. You have to play along. You have to be in the conversation. Look, I want you guys to see what he looks like. Look at him.
That's not fair because it's not fair. I just had said before you cut me off. I was like, no, what is it about?
No, you said I don't care.
I said that first and I was about to join. I know how the show works.
You're a piece of doo-doo.
Ruby D.
Yes. You remember in Spike Lee, do you ever see the movie Do the Right Thing?
Yeah, I know Ruby D.
Remember the black woman who is crying? Here, I'll pull it up.
I know who she is.
I thought you said you didn't know who that
was. I was kidding.
Ass. Ruby. Well, Alana didn't know who it was. Let me share on my screen.
No, it was really cool that he brought her, back because she had been famous 20, 30 years before Do the Right Thing, right?
Yes. She'd been famous her whole life. I mean, she's like as a child.
I knew about black people before Do the Right Thing,
What?
I believe she was also in Eddie Murphy's Harlem Nights.
Possibly.
Right, and Ozzy, because Ozzy was in that too. I think they were both in Harlem Nights together. Can you check on that?
Let's see.
If I remember correctly, if it's her, and I have my black women correct, because then this will be really horrible. She goes, "Man, her pussy is like sweet sunshine."
Well, that was Eddie Murphy.
No, that's Ruby D saying that.
That was Ruby D saying that?
I think if she's in Harlem Nights, I know she was saying that.
I can't see that. I'm looking it up and nothing's coming up. But they were such an amazing couple. Oh my God. I'm going to show you all. Oh my God. When Juskow looks like he's working.
I have to do work. Yeah. Let me see how long it'll take if I have to leave.
This is what it looks like. There's Ruby D and Ozzy. So there they are.
I'm positive they're both in Harlem Nights. Can you check?
I checked. It's not coming up. I don't have time to check that. It'll take too much
Don't have
time. It's not coming
Della
up.
Reese. See, I did mess it up. I'm the worst. I'm very racist. Yep.
Well, you said it. I didn't.
Yeah, it's true. If I mixed up Della Reese and Ruby D, I'm a dick.
But we're gonna see that on Sunday, and it's done by the guy who sang in Hamilton.
Who?
This guy. Look, I'm no better. Actually, I get names wrong.
What's his name? Diggs? David Diggs? Is that his name?
Not Tay Diggs.
Not Tay Diggs, no. David.
Director Kenny Leon. Let's see here.
Oh, he might have played Aaron Burr.
Let's see here. Leslie Odom Jr.
Oh, yes, of course. He's terrific.
He's playing Pearly Victorious.
He's playing Curly from the Three Stooges.
No,
we're going to do in a black version.
Pearly.
I think that'll be good.
And directed by Kenny Leon.
Oh, he's good. He's good.
Really? You know him?
No, I have no idea who that is.
Okay, so I don't either. But I do know that I am excited about Pearly Victorious, which is being brought back. Let me see some of the news on it. It is, and it's like they invited me because I think they need to people just to come out. It's about Harlem. It's now okay. Here we go.
That's not.
No,
that's
okay.
cool.
This is too young. Yeah, it's back on Broadway. Okay, she's the actress. Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I'll be able to talk more about it after we see it this Sunday. Right, Alana?
Not tomorrow. Next week.
I'm gonna see it this Sunday with Alana.
Well, I can't.
Oh, did he do? Kenny Leon is amazing. He did American Son. He also did a remake of Raisin in the Sun. Thank you.
Oh, Raisin in the Sun. I was in a production of that. It was wonderful.
Who did you play?
I played the raisin.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go and say something else. I thought you were gonna blackface it up. How was your Halloween party? Speaking of blackface.
You mean Victoria and Lou's?
Yeah, how was that?
It was awful.
I had a feeling it would be. Why was it?
It wasn't awful. It was just I don't know why I went.
It was just kind of. How long did you stay?
The whole time. You know, I'm always the last one to leave. That's what I do.
And it still was not.
It was okay. It was okay. It just I don't know. It just.
Who'd you go as?
I went by myself, and I think that's a problem too. You know.
But who did you go as?
Oh, well, I dressed in the costume I always dress in, which is a Secret Service agent. Because then
That's right. You told us that.
The thing, right? But then I was reading the invitation, and it said you have to dress as your favorite TV and movie character. So I decided to just say I was Nicolas Cage from Guarding Tess, and everybody bought into that, so it was okay.
You want to hear what I saw? I saw one of the best costumes. It was the most terrifying costume I've seen. It was a pregnant lady. I was like, oh shit, terrifying.
What was it? Like she really was pregnant, or just pretending to be pregnant?
No, you could go with whatever you think it is. Either way, it was terrifying. I was like, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
In 2023, the most terrifying thing you could be is pregnant.
Yeah, I was wearing the glasses and the thing, and nobody knew who I was. I just walked in, and everybody got panicked. They thought the cops were there. Like I guess. And so then I just talked, and everybody's staring at me. I guess I was the last one there, and then I just go like this. Oh, we got a code for it. Okay, and then I just went out. And then I think everybody got the gag. I guess I must have really looked the part, especially being white. I guess everybody got nervous. I don't know.
Was it a mixed party?
No, I'm just kidding.
That's what I was like. I don't
think there was one black person there at all.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I don't see them having like black friends at their party.
There were some Irish people there.
And like I said, there we go. Juskow, before you, because you said you may have to go, do you want to read the review I sent you early?
Yeah, no, I think I can do both, but
Just
yeah.
in case.
Yep.
Just in case. So what we do on here is we usually like to shout out people who leave us reviews on Apple.
Mhm.
On Apple Podcasts. It's really important that as you listen to the episodes, even if you listen to it all the time, to leave a review about specifically an episode that you liked. So leaving it here is wonderful, but leaving it on Apple Podcasts really helps us. So,
Okay, so this is from Nina Do, who we haven't seen in a while, I think.
yes, I know.
How embarrassing, LOL. I just noticed this email in my drafts. I just knew I sent it. Either way, the sentiments are still there. Still loving the show and miss being able to consistently watch the live Saturday shows. I missed DJ Eric Prince. Here's what I wrote in March.
Oh, wow.
I've been busy and life just got in the way of me being able to regularly catch the live show or the episodes. I just binged about 8 shows and can't believe I let myself get this behind. I've been thinking about the evolution of the podcast and it's just amazing. I started out looking for a podcast of funny Black women over 40, and Friends Like Us was literally the only one I could find. I was going to say, I mean, come on. At the time, it was mostly Marina, Khalees Hawkins, Zainab. Oh, never would have seen that coming. Zainab Johnson, Angry Baby, and Yamanika Sanders as regulars, whose birthday was yesterday. You touched on pop culture subjects in a refreshing, funny, and mature way, and slowly started to have more non-comedian guests on that brought a different level of information to the show. For me, it was Professor Christina Greer's intro to the show that turned the tide and made it a show where I learned something while laughing. I was taking down notes on a comedy podcast. I've subscribed and unsubscribed over the last 15 years or so to podcasts, but never this one. Absolutely love the show. Thank you, Marina, for all that you do, and happy Women's History Month.
Don't you laugh on That's wonderful. You know, when she wrote that, I was like, thank you so much, because I have been going through like a little bit of like, do I keep going? What do I do? And then I've had all these amazing guests, and I'm like, I can't stop. I can't stop myself.
Yeah.
Speaking of March, is that when they will go back to the daylight savings? Right? It's in March. So do you think they should stop doing daylight savings?
Everyone does. Everyone does. No one wants to do this anymore. And nobody knows why it can't get passed or done. Everybody wants it to just stay, which I believe would stay today. Like, I can't remember whether you want daylight savings time or Eastern Standard Time to stay, but I think it's daylight savings time.
Yeah, it's daylight saving.
I don't know whether it's when we change the clicks back or forwards that we want it to stay that way.
Whatever it is right now, it needs to stay what it is right now.
Yeah.
Because in New York City, I was saying this at the top of the show, they're even saying they have to bring out more patrolling police because it's going to get darker earlier.
4:30, 4:45.
And so, and so that's going to cause danger because, as you know, people can't even cross the street now without being hit by a car, a vehicle, a city bike, a scooter. A kid on a scooter was killed because the woman was like in a tow truck turning the corner.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, and
worked for the city. Worked for the city. Fucking A.
Yeah. So it's like
she was on her phone.
This is what I'm talking about, though. And so when it gets darker out, think about it. When it's dark, there's crime, and so, and with kids coming out of school at a certain hour, when it's dark outside, like this could actually save lives if you just keep it the way it is right now, because people also get depressed.
Yes, I totally suffer from that.
And there's depression right now.
Yeah, but
there's a guy who's going to jump off the building on 115th Street. And you know how I know this?
Yeah,
because the helicopter
over the hundreds. Oh, sorry.
Please, you know how many people be jumping off below 100? That was because Harlem's gentrified. We don't do that. That's not typically a black thing to do. We don't jump off buildings. You know that motherfucker wasn't black.
That's true.
Never. So let me tell you something. The helicopter was low as hell, and we heard it for like not 1 hour but 2 hours, and on the next door app, that's all I saw was people going, "Hey, does anyone hear this helicopter? It's too low to the ground. I'm calling the FAA." And I was like, "You could do that? Oh, I'm going to do that next time." And so I mean, my point is depression is high right now. I just don't think we should be doing this anymore. Just get rid of it. I did wake up late today, though. That was a problem.
I woke up. I slept for 2 hours, and I had to leave for here at 5 o'clock.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I'm seeing Jeff Ross's show tomorrow at 5.
Where?
Hard Rock, whatever that place is in Times Square. Good times. Ugh,
Oh. What is that? It's at what time?
5 o'clock.
I would have gone to see that.
Really? I thought you were
How
seeing a show.
I would have. Now I
Well,
can't.
I didn't know. So he obviously he wanted me to see it. So it's
Mhm.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I probably could have gone yesterday, but I said, which day do you want me to come? He said Sunday, but then he changed it to Saturday. But I have a show on Saturday, I have Hatem show
Mhm.
tonight. So I couldn't go then. So
Ooh,
the only
fun.
show is Sunday at 5, and he invited his whole family. So he doesn't have any more comps. So now he's mad I'm coming. I'm like, well, I don't have to go. He's like, no, I need you to see this. And I'm like, oh, great. But
Do you
that's
know how
it.
many days it'll be there?
No, this is it. Sunday's the last
Oh,
day.
Sunday's the last day.
It's part of the festival.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would have loved to have seen that because I remember he said he wanted me to look at what he was working on.
Well, I'm still mad about it because, when I was doing my last show at the Comedy Cellar, I had him come in. I was like, oh God, this will be great. The Roastmaster's here, and I brought him up on stage, and the crowd had already had it. And I'm like, well, this will pump him up. The Roastmaster, hey, you guys, we're gonna get crazy. The Roastmaster General's here. And then he just practiced the show about his grandfather, and I was furious. I was like, nobody was buying into it. Just wasn't the right time, and it was quite selfish to do at a festive occasion. It was at midnight, and he's like, my grandfather was so great. He was a great guy, and I'm like, what the hell is he doing?
He's really connected to this, though. This is really what he wants to do right
I
now.
know, and that's fine. It just wasn't the time. Plus, he did this show 30 years ago. It's kind of what made his bones in the business.
Right.
I just don't know why I had to choose my show to do it, where I'm, on a teetering thing at the Cellar. I just needed fun, and everybody to write fun. Great time at Dave Juskow's show.
And then he's like, "Oh, got to tell you this sad."
My grandfather, my parents died, and he took me in, and so my sister was there, and she's like, "What the fuck?" Her and my niece and my brother-in-law were like, "What the hell?"
Was it any jokes in it?
Nope.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like a Richard Pryor. Let's talk about it.
No, well, I mean, I guarantee there will be jokes, and maybe there was. It's just like, it was tough to get to when the way I brought him up, I was just expecting, I didn't know he was gonna,
Do that. Yeah. You thought he was going to, roast you a little bit.
I thought he was gonna roast. I thought he was gonna do what he does.
Right. The roast master, the
No,
brand.
just joke.
People really don't like it when you have a brand and you go outside. It's kind of like what we're talking about with TV and like watching TV and getting used to like everyone sitting down. Like I do think like seasonally, I feel off because they don't do Charlie Brown on ABC. It was an ABC, whatever network it was.
It
But
was ABC.
it was ABC. I was so
Well, it
used
was
to like.
ABC later. First it was CBS for years.
Now, are they going to be doing? Are they going to? Do they still do The Sound of Music?
I don't know. I don't think they ever did. I mean, you think they did that every year?
They used to do The Sound of Music every holiday.
The only thing that they do still on ABC every Easter is the Ten Commandments. That still goes on for 4 hours on ABC.
And they get it wrong on that show.
Oh, gosh.
Talk about like propaganda. Wow.
What's wrong with it?
Oh, it's Bible. It's like the Bible according to the guy who is a gun
Cecil B. DeMille.
A gun nut.
Cecil B. DeMille was a gun nut.
Oh, I'm thinking of Moses. Yeah.
Oh, Charlton Heston. Well, that's not. He
Charles,
was just an actor. He's just an
but he's
actor.
a gun nut.
Yes,
He's
but he
like
was
a
just an actor in the movie.
yeah.
That's not
That's what he
fair.
needs to remind himself. He's like he should
But
say that all the
you're
time.
right. Where you're correct is that Cecil
Where?
B. DeMille, the director, mostly wanted to just do boobs and kind of soft porno. And so he was doing it. People are like, you can't do this stuff. I mean, this is like the 40s and 50s.
Mm-hmm.
So he started making Bible movies where nobody could question what was going on. And, you know, if you watch the Ten Commandments, I mean, that Ann Baxter's all over Charlton Heston wearing that slinky thing.
Yeah, I remember.
You can't complain about what are you talking about? It's the Bible. That's exactly what happened. We
I
took it right
remember.
from the
I
scripture.
remember being slightly aroused by those scenes as a child. Now that you bring
course.
that up, I was like,
Yul Brenner, you see that guy? He looks unbelievable.
so sexy.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's like,
What does he
she's-
say? He goes, "Que sera, sera," or etc. etc. That's what he says.
et cetera, et cetera.
Etc. etc.
I think my friend Vincent used to have. Did I ever tell you this story about the sushi?
No, tell it.
My friend Vincent goes, yeah, I used to have. I was having dinner with Yul Brenner back in 1973. We went to the sushi place. I'm like, whoa, well, you went to have sushi with Yul Brenner in 1973? He's like, yeah, and I'm like, do you know he invented sushi? Like he bought it. If you go to Wikipedia, they say Yul Brenner, because I was thinking about this the other day. Where sushi came from? When we were growing up, there was no sushi, right?
I don't.
And I remember
really
in the mid 90s, my parents going, "Oh my God, we love sushi." Because remember, it just came out when we were kind of moved to New York. Where was it when we were kids? It just wasn't a thing until you saw it in the Breakfast Club and Molly Ringwald had some. It's sushi. And like it just, you know, now it's so popular and so normal. But where did it come from? And if you go to Wikipedia, it says Yul Brenner is credited with bringing it to the US because there was a small sushi place near like the Paramount Studios, whatever movie studio it was. And he'd bring all the celebrities in and it just kind of, you know, caught on after that. But I mean, after that, it took 20 years. But Yul Brenner was the guy. So if he knew the one sushi place in New York and he brought my friend to it, I'm like, you know what an honor that is? Vincent, you're going to like it. It's a raw fish, etc., etc. But he was trying to sleep with his girlfriend, and that it was an ulterior motive.
Oh look, now they want to watch it because I was aroused. My mom used to love Yul Brenner. What was his ethnicity? What was he exactly?
That's a good question. Persian? I don't know.
Maybe he was Persian.
But he was. I mean, he had a hell of a career. He was pretty cool,
He had that
and
look.
you know, and a Broadway star, King and I.
That's right. Oh my God, that's right. The King. He was the
Originated
best.
role. The Prince of Siam.
He was the best.
He was fantastic. You think about dancing barefoot on stage. That would be the worst.
I don't know if you
day
could
of my
even do
life.
that play in this day and age.
Oh, he was
Can you?
Russian, Sujay said.
Oh, he was Russian. Can you
But
do
isn't
the
that-
King and I?
Isn't there a kind of Persian aspect to Russian? Because he was darker. Like he had a darker skin complexion.
Yes,
to
he
him.
did.
But you know, what an exciting bald man.
I know. He made bald cool. He was the first to make it cool.
I've never seen pictures of him with hair.
It says here, he had Sujay is saying he had a Swiss, German, Russian, Mongol,
He was a mutt.
and
Mutt.
purported Roma ancestry. Okay, I can't say purported.
Mongolian.
Mongolian beef. I used to like that.
Me too.
I don't eat that anymore though. I don't eat beef.
I don't eat beef. My name is Marina. I don't eat beef.
It's been a while.
Let me tell you something. Hey.
I don't talk like that. But you know what's funny? I was at the farmer's market and this one girl, she was Puerto Rican, I know, and she took over the bread stand where I usually get this bread. And I've never seen her there. And I said, I was going to give her cash. She's like, yeah, you can give cash, but we not going to know what to do with it. Like, it was what she said. She said, we ain't going to know what to do with that. It was something the way she said. I said, I really appreciate you being here today. Never mind. I've been in the house too much. Tonight I go out. Tonight I'm out. I got 2 shows. You're at Hot Tim's show, right?
Yep, at Rutherford.
How's that show going?
I love doing it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is there a really good audience in there?
It's
Is
been
it
getting
growing?
better. Yeah, and they're polite even if they're small, but it's definitely grown.
That's outstanding. Alana, who is watching us right now, she's watching us because she may join us. She's not sure.
Okay.
This is like us auditioning for Alana.
Oh,
Yeah, not really, but she's my workout buddy. We work out together. We do the
that's funny.
boxing and stuff. Like you've seen her picture.
I have.
Yes. Remember I showed you her picture and you were like, oh, she's kind of sexy.
Oh, I did.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like something I would say.
She works out with me. We go boxing together.
Wow.
I forgot what I was going to say. There was some. How do you feel about Mathew Perry? Are you okay?
Yeah, I couldn't care less, and I think it's hilarious that what Kevin Brennan's doing.
Kevin Brennan, you think that's hilarious? How is that hilarious?
If you know Kevin and the fact that people are going crazy about it and they're telling him that he should be fired from Saturday Night Live, then you know these people are
that
absolute
I've
minds.
heard. So
The guy
tell
worked
people
on the
what
show
happened.
30 years ago.
They don't all know the story.
So just Kevin Brennan's crazy and he's very jealous of everybody. So he just said, oh, another junkie died in his hot tub, something like that. And I get it because I don't know. I guess I feel, there's definitely a sense. Kevin just said what's on a lot of people's minds, just like this guy had it all and he just kept blowing it and blowing it. Now we know everybody's got their demons and we get that, but it's just like this guy's had drug problems since he was on Friends. And when you're struggling sometimes, it gets in your craw when somebody's been to rehab 15 times, they can't put it together. And, it's the woe is me and he's got money and fame and fortune and
but there's a lot of lessons.
shows.
I mean, do we know? We don't know if that's what happened.
Well, yeah, we do. I mean, he's so here's the other thing, Marina, too, which is what I mean. I don't dislike Mathew Perry. I'm not glad that he's dead. In fact, It bothers me because I'm such a big Friends
That's
person.
what I'm saying.
It's tainted the show.
Yeah,
it's a bummer.
It's
now,
hard to watch
Thanksgiving, when we always watch the Brad Pitt episode, it's going to be sad.
Oh, is that what your family does?
We always do because they have them on TBS, all the Thanksgiving episodes at once. So we always watch it. And it's a great show and I watch it every day. But the thing is, like, this guy went 15 rehabs and he never got straight. And the thing is, they probably were very ritzy, very wonderful rehabs. My friend who I was staying at in California, William, runs a serious rehab, for poor people, the people that can't afford these kind of places, a real rehab. That is the real thing, not just catering to, it's not pretty. He makes me go there. That's how I stay in his place. He's like, you have to have lunch with us in the cafeteria, like you got to see how it is. And he's really,
it's part of the requirements for staying with him.
Yeah, but that's okay because it's amazing what William had a problem too. And he cleaned himself up and now he runs that place. And this is a real place in Pasadena, a real place. And I think that's also bothering me. And when a guy dies in his hot tub, it's again hard to feel sorry when we live in these shitholes in New York. It's just difficult. So all he said was like, it's hard to drown in a hot tub. Is
that what Kevin said?
Yeah. So everybody was just laughing. But what they don't realize is that Kevin worships this. This is the greatest thing that ever happened to him. TMZ has been following him around. He's so happy.
I know Kevin
and he really didn't do anything except put out it's a little bad, but that's what Kevin does. So the fact that these crazy people are just so uptight about it, and it's making him laugh, and he's been making so much more money on this podcast.
But he is going to, as far as Hollywood goes, it's going to be very difficult for him to get work.
I think he already knew it was over for him.
He knew it was over.
Like,
you can't cancel the already canceled.
He's making a fortune. I did his podcast a month ago, and he must have made $3,000 while we were on for 2 hours.
Do you think he's still doing that?
Yeah, no, I know he is. And people just put in money as they ask, like everybody here, Alana, Hectech, Sujay, the last 3 people that just wrote, they all put in donations on his podcast. And I mean $100 each time.
You heard that, Alana, Hectech, Sujay.
Exactly,
what's up?
You guys are really
What's up? I'm joking. What's really good, huh? Come at me. My Cash App. I think it's in there. It's on my YouTube page. No, I'm joking. Actually, next week I'll be going to Sujay's class to
What?
talk.
You never came
Yeah.
to mine.
If you want me to, I'll come to your
No, I
class.
don't. Just kidding.
Just lend me. Ha! I'll give you 100. Juskow, just lend me 150. So I will say this. The one lesson I got out of this, and I've always noticed this, and you agree with me on this, Juskow, is that no matter how famous you get, it cannot fill whatever hole you have inside
Of
of you.
course. And I get that. And I don't know what's going through Matthew Perry. I did hear that his dad used to be the Marlboro Man. So, if your dad's the Marlboro Man, which is maybe the coolest guy ever at the time, I mean, not now we know smoking ain't that great, but that's a man, right? Even if he's just a model, he's a man. And then his son is playing the gay character on Friends. He's maybe that had something to do with it. Who knows? I mean, I know he wasn't gay, but you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, yeah, we don't know his demons. All I know, and it's awful. It's just like you and I, and not so much you, but definitely me. We struggle. We try to get that job. We want that friend's job. And so for somebody that just keeps messing up and keeps doing this when he has it all, it's really frustrating to feel bad.
Well, I just think
That's
that
all. Just being
I never
honest.
read the book, so I don't know where
Well,
his.
then I heard his book was just like a backstabbing frenzy of jerkness.
Oh, was
So,
it?
yeah. So I don't know what his story is. And I guess we should be glad he wrote a book. Maybe there's some details in there.
I hear
But
that he was not the warmest of guys.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
So, you're talking about a person
Wow.
that wasn't
Who is?
that pleasant a person. I'm sure he was good with his friends, castmates. They all seem to really, truly get along, which is so cool. But
Just don't
it's
meet
just
your.
difficult to feel bad for, somebody when he's just an actor like us, and you get that opportunity, and when you
You're
see
not
something
putting
like
flowers
that-
down.
What?
You're not going to put flowers down. They have putting flowers and
No, I am not.
candles.
No, the only person I did that to was when I went to Dudley Moore's grave.
Oh yeah.
That guy was fucking
And
cool.
the Princess Diana.
Oh, Princess Diana is a major tragedy. This girl, and when
Yeah.
you're watching The Crown, you realize, I mean, there's got to be some truth there. She got treated like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You got to hate the royal family for that. And that's why I hate Meghan Markle even more or something. I don't know why. It's just like, I feel like this kid, had such a bad childhood because his mom was murdered. And then,
What do you think Meghan Markle is making it worse?
Yeah.
Wow,
I do.
why?
I don't know, because she's like now keeping him out of the. I don't know.
She's not doing
I
that.
feel like this guy's just had heartache when your mom dies like that in front
He's
of
had
everybody.
heartache from that. She's probably done the best thing she could for him was get him away from that lifestyle, because as you can see, it's very toxic.
It's very toxic, but it's
So she may have
also-
actually saved his life.
Yeah, you might be right.
Because when he was coming up, there was always suspicion: is he really even a son? Like whose father's his
right.
father?
Right. It could be the security guard.
Yeah, there was so much about him that was already before she came along. That tabloids about him they always divide the family up. If you pay attention to all that stuff, that there's like competition amongst the families who's liked.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like having Hollywood in your house at dinner time. That'd be like sitting at the table with me sitting at the table with like Amy Schumer and Dave Chappelle and Kevin Hart, and me being like, "Hi."
Yeah, that's my usual daily life.
Yeah, so it's got to be tough. I think we always blame for some reason, like with Jada Pinkett, we always.
Oh my God, she needs to be blamed.
But
She's
the
awful.
thing is everyone is saying if you read her book, you will change your mind about all of this.
Awful. She's awful. And to come on and start talking about the stuff she's been talking about and still bringing up the Chris Rock thing, this poor guy doesn't want to talk about it anymore. She keeps bringing it up. Will Smith doesn't want to put it up. And for her to keep bringing it up while what's going on in Israel, like the next day she was on the Today Show talking about this.
But we always have to bring Jada out when things are rough.
Well,
That's what we
there might
do.
be something to that.
This is necessary. I think when the slap happened, there was something going on in the world that was much more important. I
It's
forget
just hearing
what.
her talk is just she's the worst. But Stace, I'm with you that Harry totally loves her, and I agree with you 100%. What I think bothers me about her is the way, like we saw in South Park, where they want to be left alone, they want to be left alone, but they can't get themselves out of the spotlight, and that's really
Let's do a
frustrating.
podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But you saw the South Park one, right? It's
I
the best
haven't seen it.
depiction. It's fantastic. They moved to South Park to be left alone, and then they have a band outside, playing a song called "Leave Us Alone," and big streamers saying, "Please leave us alone." But they're saying it with they don't want to be left alone.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
it is like, I think though there is something to the fact that women oftentimes we just get abused as the woman, as in the relationship all the time. And there is a part of, while I think Jada doesn't help the situation because everyone's like, please shut up.
yeah,
Like everybody. Like
yeah.
but the thing is like even women
She's got me
sometimes.
feeling bad for Will Smith now. I never thought that would be the case.
Well, yeah, everyone is starting to be like, oh, this poor Will, like, is he okay? And all
But
this.
she's
And like,
crazy, and she started all
well,
this
we
by
don't
fooling
know
around.
that. We
No,
don't
no,
know
she's
that.
out of her mind and affected by Hollywood, and it's
She's so cute.
and now her hair's back.
Is
What
it?
happened? What about the alopecia? You
You
notice
can
Jeff's
grow
hair's
your
not
hair
back.
back. You can
Jeff's
get
hair's not back.
who? Jeff Ross?
Yeah,
What do you mean his hair
he
was
has
gone?
alopecia.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I thought he was just being cool.
no, he had alopecia, and he didn't tell anybody. And then when she said it, he let it out that he had it. And he was just trying to be like, what? Yeah, and whether he got lucky because he used to change his hairstyle all the time, so
Oh,
everybody
it's a
just thought.
wig, Juskow. See, you don't know black women.
I have heard it is not a wig.
And you said that like you wanted to do a neck roll.
I've heard it is not a wig.
If Juskow, if you do that with a neck roll, then you're back. Can you do a neck roll?
I've heard it is not a wig.
The worst neck roll I've ever seen.
Well,
I know. It's not in you to do the neck roll genetically.
I don't. Look, it's the white drunk guy. I'll tell you another thing.
But
I just want to tell you, I think you're great.
You know what? Something that they were talking about is the Rock and his statue that was in France.
Oh my God, it's too white. Isn't that hilarious?
Well, the thing is I've said it for years. I've said it. You guys know. I've even talked about it on the podcast. Like, I don't think he overly identifies as. He doesn't go out as a black actor, and maybe he has, but I've missed it. And I think that is where
I didn't even know he was black. I thought he was Hawaiian.
See, that's the thing. A lot of white people do not know his ethnicity, and that is not an accident. I don't think. I think that when black actors I get it. Like, you don't always want to be like, I'm the black actor, I'm the black person in the show. But I think in this case, I wonder if he had led with that years ago, if it would have been a much more difficult career for him. Because there is a lot of racism in Hollywood. And then you see that in France, obviously, there's a lot of racism in France. So It did not surprise me that they made him the lightest version that they could think of, because in their minds, they don't think of him as being black. I'm sure that when they got all these emails, they were probably, I'm sure they were like in the music, they were like, he's black? What? I'm sure that conversation happened. So, not a shocker. All right. I think that is it. I don't know what other news stories. Everything is depressing.
It sure is.
Hassan Minaj has been apologizing.
For what?
Or not apologizing. He's been explaining himself from the New Yorker article, because they said that he lied in his act. And I would love for you, Hassan. I've seen you at the Cellar. I'd love for you to come on Friends Like Us and discuss it.
My God, that guy has the prettiest eyes I've ever seen.
He is beautiful. He's so pretty.
He really is a dreamboat.
He's got the best hair.
What did he lie about?
Well, Do you have enough? We don't have enough time. But
Oh, okay.
he basically, in his act, was like there were some ways that he considers to be embellishment of the stories, and one of them was about
So he's pulling a Brian Williams.
yeah, well, it's a little bit about like, but he's saying that he's writing jokes, and this is his style of writing jokes. So some of it was actually about like legitimately like stories that div- involve marginalized people being a like in the mosques and stuff, and FBI like hiding and being in there to make sure, and like these weren't his stories, and he's presenting it in his act as if it's his story. And then one of them was like the baby, like the anthrax powder. He like his wife yells at him because he goes out and he does all the stuff, and she's like, "There's consequences for you doing this." And he got a letter that had apparently powder in it, and it falls on his child, and that was apparently not. None of that was actually
Well,
true.
how would anybody know? Like, why would he even
So
confess
he
to that?
breaks down the New Yorker because the New Yorker asked, "How does he write his jokes?" And in that conversation, this is
What
what
a
all came out.
loser.
And so now he's breaking down how also there was a prom story of the white girl whose parents didn't want him to go. So he's breaking it
So,
down and saying the New Yorker, the person who interviewed him, strategically wanted to do this while he's in play for the Daily Show.
well,
Ooh,
Sarah is hosting the Daily Show this week,
I love her.
and hopefully the permanent guest host will not be Chelsea Handler,
Why do you say that?
because I'm just hoping.
I hear she did a really good job.
Because she wants it really badly. And here's another example. Somebody had everything and decided to walk away. Now she wants this again. It's not fair. You
Oh,
got to
because
give
she walked
somebody else.
away from her talking show.
That's right.
Look at me. I just called it a talking
A
show.
talking show like Rachel, like you walked away from the talent show.
She wants to talk some more. Yeah, he got caught between the stand-up and Daily Show expectations. Yes. Now, I think Hassan is a very nice guy, but I
I
do
do
think
too.
that the thing that's happening here is I think it's just like I think his fans are disappointed mostly. And
That's too
we're
bad.
my whole point was when you have a brand and you go outside of that brand and you disappoint people, it's really hard on that audience. It is. It's just hard. Now, we do have to get out of here. Oh, Kathleen Bell. Hello. Is the problem that he claimed it was true? I haven't thought that a comic has to only tell true stories. It's a lot more intense than that. I think it's a little bit more layered because of this type of stories that were told. And I think his audience's expectation, because the Daily Show thrives on truths. And so that is where the conflict is because we're in a time where people are not getting the truth. And Hassan has branded himself as a person who likes to dissect things politically. And so I guess that's where it comes in. We'll see. I hope I get him on the podcast. I would love
I
to
hope
have
you
him.
do. I hope you do too.
I would love it. Anyway, we got to go. I really enjoyed you guys today. This was a lot of fun. Juskow, I kind of like it with just us. It's
I do
nice.
too.
My
Because I
friend,
told you, Evelyn brings the show down to a screeching halt. I'm just kidding. She's delightful, but she just has no flair. We know that. Look at us.
shut your
We are like, look
trap.
at us. We're like this, and she's like this. And then you're like, Evelyn, what do you think? Well, as you can read in my reductress,
Stop that. You know,
I think.
stop. But we'll be back next weekend, and then of course the weekend after, I believe, is Thanksgiving. We'll be off,
What?
right? Yeah, because I'll be in Chicago. I think I get back though early.
Mike put it the best way.
What did he
Without
say?
Evelyn, Juskow runs free.
that
Get that right, Mikey.
is true. That is true. But we'll be back next
I give
Saturday.
this a pretty
So
face.
hopefully you all. Oh, Stacey's like, I miss Evelyn, and it's fine with you too. Dave just has one fewer person to offend.
That's right.
Yes, I'll see you, Mr. Noise, next weekend. I'll see you, Sujay, Friday actually for your class virtually, and then that's it. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Got to get out of here because we both have shows tonight.
Yep.
We love you so much. Don't forget to listen to the podcast, Friends
vote,
Like
and
Us.
vote.
If you're in New York
Tuesday.
City. If
No.
you're in New
Election
York.
day is Tuesday for the whole country.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh.
I voted yesterday.
Oh, good for you. Look at you early voting.
Got that right. I was the only one there in the gymnasium. The only one.
Sign of age. All right.
It's true.
We got to get out. Make sure you
rock the vote, yo. Rock the vote.
Where can they see you tonight?
I'll be at the Rutherford Williams Center right outside New York City. It's super fun. And then, of course, watch me on the Comedy Cellar Nightly Show on Tuesday night at 6 o'clock on YouTube.
Yeah.
And just get out of the city.
Yeah, Marina Franklin. Just go to marinayfranklin.com and make sure you listen to the podcast. It's on the link tree that's scrolling underneath. And with friends like us, make sure you wash your hands. You can still wear a mask if you want to. I think it's really important. Actually, a lot of people are coming down with COVID, and Black Lives Matter. Bye, everybody. Bye.